Before going forward, I would like to tell one of the stories from my life 5 years ago. When I finished my graduation and I was about to start my career, I suddenly came across a question. I suddenly came across a person who asked one question. The question was that we go through a lot, we study a lot, but why is it that the success ratio is so small, so little? And that really made me ponder over my entire journey. And that is why from that day onwards, I decided that I would like to become rich, but I want to know how to become rich, because ultimately that is why we study. Now, I'm not telling that money is the only factor for success. Definitely happiness matters, because this is the end result of whatever we do in our life. But let me tell you one thing. Money is something which we can count, and that is why it becomes quite easier to measure success in terms of wealth rather happiness. Let me show you one data that really made goosebumps in my body. If I show you the data says that the entire population of the world is 7.6 billion. And out of which only 2,206 people are billionaire. My God, not even 1%, not even 0.1%. Very shocking story, very shocking thing. If I talk about millionaires, there are 15 million and 16,000 people who are millionaire. Millionaire means who have $1 million in their account. $1 million means approximately 8 CR, 8 crore. Means if we talk about the entire population, only 2% people have $1 million rupee in their account. Such a shocking story. And let me tell you one more important thing. Out of 2,206 billionaires, 80% of them do not have even formal education. They do not have even degrees. And that really shook me from within, that how is it possible? We go through education system. We have been taught that if we study well, if we learn well, then definitely we can achieve success. Then why is it such a drastic scenario? According to Global Shift in Wealth, which is a prompt magazine, to attain the definition of rich, you need to have $500 million in your account. $500 million. If you do not have this much amount, then you are not considered as rich, you are middle class. So if we compare this situation, then we are not even middle class. Why is it that only 2% people are successful? What about 98%? Have they done anything wrong? Is there something wrong? And this is why today I have brought this topic. So I would like all of you to ask questions after the end of the workshop. The workshop is not to give you any kind of knowledge. The workshop is for you to start asking questions, because there is a famous saying in one of the prominent books which goes like this: the quality of questions and the quality of answers can decide quantum leap when it comes to success, when it comes to improvement. Improvement does not mean that you improve a little bit. The definition of improvement, according to popular book Think and Grow Rich, is after 6 months, if somebody who is close to you meets you and says that you have completely changed, that is called improvement. In 6 months time period, if you make a massive quantum jump in your progress, that is called improvement. And improvement happens when you ask right questions. As I move forward, I will show you that how great personalities who achieve success ask right questions, and that is why they get their name into these top 2%. But before going further, let's understand. Have you heard that mind is powerful? I would like to know from all of you that every single one of us have heard that mind is powerful. Mind is powerful. Mind is powerful. Each and every one of us has this mind. Then why is it that despite getting an exposure to a lot of technology, still we cannot achieve this success? Still we end up being broke. Why is it? Why is this? Let's understand. Before going ahead, let me ask you, what is the definition of success? In short, if I ask what is success, I would like all of you to answer me in the chat. According to you, what is success? I have seen a lot of people when I ask this question, normally they say that success is all about making money or different things. I come across different definitions when it comes to success. And that is when, okay, great. Thank you so much. I have started getting answers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Success. Success is all about ability to design your life the way you want. That is called success. And if we look into that definition, we are not even successful, because 97.5% of the people, they do not fit into this definition. Success means ability to design the life the way you want. And I will tell you what success truly means today. But before going ahead, I would like to know from all of you that we know that mind is powerful, but we still are not rich. Then what's wrong? What is wrong? What's something that is going on? We know that mind has the power to memorize, mind has the power to capture information, mind has the power to even earn degrees. Then why is it that despite getting in such an advanced stage, still we are not successful? What's wrong? What's wrong? And that is why I decided to talk about this topic. Let's understand what is undefeated mindset. Absolutely. And that is where this topic mindset come into the picture. Throughout our school, throughout our education system, we focus on only one thing, that is to gather information. But neither we talk about mindset nor skill set. Those top 2%, the data which I have shown, they have strong, undefeatable mindset. They also come across problems. They also come across challenges. But what makes them different? This undefeatable mindset. And today we are going to learn, we are going to know deeper. We are going to go deeper into this topic. So I request all of you to please stay till the end, because I have a lot in store for you. So when it comes to undefeatable mindset, the undefeatable mindset has three things. The first one is, people who have undefeatable mindset, they do not rely on intellect alone. They do not work from the past, and they do not focus on fears. Very important. If you understand even this slide, it can completely unlock your potential. Let's start with intellect. Whatever we do, we believe that if we are intelligent, then definitely we can get success. Well, that is a partial definition, I would say. Because as per HeartMath Institute, which is in USA, and Princeton University, which is among top 10 universities in the entire world, They say that intellect contributes to only 10% of success. And if intelligence is so important, why is it that billionaires are not intelligent? They are not. They do not have even a degree, formal degree, but still they are making money. Then why is it that we still run behind intellect and we neglect all the other aspects? We have four mental faculties, and that is what I'm going to touch upon today. So if we see, the first point is the four mental faculty. The faculty is intellect, which we keep on working throughout our school education system. And from our childhood, we focus only on this thing in particular. But we do not on the other four mental faculties, other three. The next one is intuition, instinct, and imagination. When it comes to intuition, intuition is nothing but the calling of your heart. In short, that is called as passion. We all talk about passion. I don't think passion comes from here. We always say that dil ki suno, passion comes from mind. And as per HeartMath Institute and Carnegie Institute, they have proved, and it's a study conducted in Harvard as well, that your brain is 50% more intelligent than your mind. I'm so sorry, your heart is 50% more intelligent than your mind, because your heart knows what it wants. That is why 95% of the people who are in a job sector, they end up getting paycheck, but still they are not satisfied. Why? Because somewhere or other they feel that they are not following their passion, and passion comes from heart, because your heart knows. Now tell me honestly, do we work into intuition? Do we work over here? I guess very rarely people do work to follow their heart, intuition. The next faculty is instinct. The best example I can give of instinct is of a mother. A mother knows exactly when the child suffers. Why? How? It's an instinct, which in technical term we call it sixth sense. Before any wrongdoing, our mind says, or from deep within, we get this feeling that something is not right. Always a mother feels the suffering of the children even before the children speaks. Why? How does it happen? That happens just because of instinct. Imagine that you are in a boxing ring. Do you think that the knowledge of the game is going to help you, or the passion? At that time, your instinct saves you. Your ability to respond to the punches, your ability to predict the punches is what is going to save you. Now, that doesn't come from information. That comes from intuition, which is the sixth sense. And the fourth one is imagination. Imagination, the most important thing of all. Imagination. All the legendaries, all the visionaries in the world, whatever they have imagined, they created it. Now, the problem is that being a child, we all were equipped with these four mental faculties. But as soon as we started growing, the education system and society came into the picture and said, focus on intellect, focus on intellect, focus on intellect. It is called rabbit hole. Job, 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 degree, 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 focus on intellect, focus on intellect. And we ignored the rest three of the segments, which contributes to 90% of your success, which is instinct, imagination, and your intuition. We never do work upon these factors, do we? A successful person is someone who knows when to use intellect, when to use intuition, when to use instinct, and when to use imagination. The best example is of Thomas Alva Edison. Despite getting a lot of failures, he had imagined that he would create a light bulb. He had this intuition in his heart that he would come up with the invention. And he had this instinct that no matter how many failures he is going to feel, is not going to stop. Today, with due respect, I got to know that Milkha Singh died at the age of 91 because of COVID. But if we look upon his journey, he had that passion, he had that instinct, he followed his intuition. He was not an intelligent person at all, but still he ended up becoming the best Olympiad in this entire world. So we need to understand, we only focus on the intellect. We only focus on intellect, well, we ignore the rest of the three segments, that is imagination, instinct, and intuition. This is the second point, which if you could remember that I talked about these 3 points. So the first point is intellect. Successful people do not rely on intellect alone. They focus on other 3 mental faculties as well. They do imagine, they do rely on their instinct and intuition. Doesn't work from the past. The best example is that from our childhood. Why is it that from childhood we go to school, then we go to college, we earn degree, we do job, then we wait for the retirement, and at the end people go to places like Switzerland, take selfies, post it on Facebook, and say that my life is going well. Why is it that we follow this routine? Why is it that we follow this regime? Just because we have learned it from past. Because in past, someone or someone else did it, simply means that we should also do it. And that is what is going on in the society. We do not even ask questions. Now, let me tell you that I'm not demeaning education system at all, with due respect. But when the education system came into the picture, it had 3 things. Like we had 3 eras: agriculture era, industrial era, and information era. So when this doctor, lawyer, engineers came into the picture, that was information era. That means somebody who has the greater information can make more money. And that's why engineers, doctors, lawyers, they were paid well because they had the information. And for that information, they were getting paid. But today we need to understand that we are in social era. If we talk about information, Google knows much better than any one of us. So even if I ask a 5-year-old kid to believe me on some point, that kid is going to rely on Google and would even prove me wrong. So today it's a social age. And when it comes to social age, why is it that we are still following the same regime? And why is it that we do not upgrade ourselves? Imagine that if Newton or Thomas Edison would have followed what others followed, I guess they would end up in the same pigeonhole. If we talk about a personality like Henry Ford, who invented engine, because of which today we can see a lot of vehicles flying on road. In one interview, he said that I didn't ask people what they want, because if I asked them, they would have told me that they want fastest horses, because nobody had idea what engine is at that time. It was unimaginable thing. But Henry Ford imagined. He had this big vision, he had this imagination that he would create something which can make a mechanical device run on its own. And that is why he didn't ask people, he didn't follow the pattern which was going on around him. Don't you think that we should ask these questions? Today, I request all of you to ask these questions to yourself. That is what is the objective of this workshop. Now, imagine that if you forget your past, you only have your dream, you focus on your dream, and your decisions are based upon your dream. Don't you think that you are going to make much better decisions? What happens that whatever decisions we make based upon our past, based upon our past experiences. We give importance to past, because intellect comes into the picture. We do not use our imagination that what can be happen in future. And that is where the problem begins. That is where we are not part of those 2% people who are the richest people, who are governing the 98% of the population, despite they are not even educated. So if we go, doesn't focus on fear. This is the third point. Now, please tell me, I would like to know before we go ahead, let me tell you one story. The story is that a few years back, somebody had a belief that Earth is flat. So he kept on thinking, he had this thought that Earth is flat, and if we cannot, so it's better that we should not move, we should not spread our footprint, because after a boundary, the Earth finishes, so we may fall from the Earth. So Earth is flat. So that person had a thought, and that thought turned into a belief. So he started believing into this factor that Earth is flat. Then he started conveying this message to a lot of people, and then it became culture. And finally, after a while, this culture became the tradition. And the worst part of tradition is that we do not question. We cannot question any tradition. Let me give you the best example of tradition. When Britishers came in India, they killed a lot of people, but still nobody was subjected to any violation or any murder charge. Why? Because it was a tradition that if you kill a person from other country and you fly back to your country, then nobody is going to take any legal action against you. That was a belief. In African American region, it was supposed to be believed that an American can torture an African in any manner. They can humiliate, they can even rape the women, but no action is going to take place. That was the tradition. There was this tradition that in past, there was this another tradition that if we do not, if you could kill animal, right? If you could kill animal, then nothing is going to happen. There's nothing wrong in killing animals. Well, guess what? Today, where are these beliefs? I don't think these beliefs exist today. Why? Now we have laws. Now we have everything to take care of these things. So what happened? What has changed? So you need to understand one thing, that today, whatever you can see around you, it is going to change in 10 years down the line. People never believed that they could rely completely on internet for their work. And COVID already came into the picture. And today, all of us are working from the comfort of our home. It has taught so many things. We had this tradition in India that if we meet somebody, then we hug that person. We do believe in taking care of people. We do handshake, especially in Western countries. From there, we got this culture that we should do handshake. Now, where this belief had gone? All of a sudden, one disease came and the entire belief got shattered. So what happens? In fact, today I was watching one TV series, Sunflower. If you get a chance, you can watch it. And there, one character told this line that culture, we cannot ask question to any culture. Absolutely. In fact, I still remember that whenever I do ask my mom, that mom, what's the reason of this religious sermon? 95% of the time, my mom says that I do not know. People follow, so I follow. So you need to understand that once you become a part of culture, you do not have the right to ask questions. And this is the origin of fear. So we have a culture which has developed around us, that if we do go through a certain process, then only we would be successful. And
That's why blindly we start following them. And if you think like people, you will become like people. And that's why it is no any uh, tragedy that we end up being broke. In fact, George Bernard Shaw once said that if everybody in the room thinks the same, then nobody is thinking. And when you do not think, then where's creativity? Creativity is also not going to come. And if you are not creative, then definitely you are not made for success. So undefeatable mindset, to have undefeatable mindset, you have to work on these three things, starting from the first point, which is do not rely only on intellect. Use your imagination, intuition, and instinct. Second, do not make decisions based upon the culture, based upon your surrounding. Take decisions based upon what your intuition, what your heart says. And never make decision based upon your past. Focus on your dream and then make the decisions on how to achieve those dreams. Now I would like to present this thing. So what's the difference between information and knowledge? Today we are surrounded with a lot of information. Today internet has exposed us to a lot of information. We are surrounded with so many information, so much of information. But is it making our life more great or is it making our life worse? Do we ask these questions? What's happening? What's wrong? Today we have the information. And if we believe on the definition of success as per the majority, then information, if you have, then you are king. But why still that we are not king? Now, do we ask this question? On the contrary, what is knowledge? Knowledge is the systematic information. Now we have information, but we do not have knowledge. A lot of times people do come to me and ask that, sir, we watch a lot of YouTube videos on English, but still we cannot speak. The reason is that you have the information, but you do not have the knowledge. Knowledge is the systematic application of information. And when you learn any skill, this is what you learn, the systematic application of information. And the successful people, they do not focus on gathering information. They focus on gathering knowledge. They make the process so that in terms of adversity, they should not have to worry, that process can save them. So if we talk about the current situation, if you have more information, nobody is going to pay you for your information. Because ultimately, it's not the input that you put in gives the result. It's the output that you produce based on which people give results. No matter how much a scholar, how great I am in English, if I'm not able to communicate well, communicate my thought process to you, then I'm a failure. And today through this workshop, I'm providing you the knowledge. Information is scattered, but knowledge is the systematic information which can help you going longer. I would also like to give you an idea about mind bugs. These are some kind of mind bugs which you can see, like procrastination, ignorance, worry, self-doubt, fear, ego. Now, these are mind bugs. Imagine that you have an old laptop, very old laptop, maybe 10 years, 20 years old, and I have one pen drive. In that pen drive, I have all the information of English language. Now, let me take this English language only so that you can relate. I can give you all the structures, all the formula. Means this pen drive is equipped with a lot of quality information. But if I plug that information in your laptop, do you think that it is going to work? The laptop is not serviced. There's no antivirus. The laptop is not upgraded. The person is still using Windows 98, the Windows which people used to use 20 years back. So do you think this software is going to work? No. Today, if I am providing you with certain information,
And if you have the mind bugs, no matter how much knowledge I provide, if you do not reset your mind, the information is not going to fit in, and ultimately the pen drive might crash, the knowledge might crash. And how are you going to reset your mind? By asking right questions, by asking the right set of questions. Because if you are unsatisfied, which I told you at the beginning of workshop, that today my job is to make you feel unsatisfied. If you are satisfied, let's for example, if you are satisfied, then satisfaction is the worst thing that can happen to you. Imagine that if somebody would be satisfied inside the car without AC, would you think that today we could have AC in our cars? Imagine if people would be satisfied with fastest horses. Do you think that today we could today we could ride a lot of cars? Imagine if people would be satisfied with the banking system. Do you think that today we could have stock market? So this unsatisfaction is what brings the creativity. And guess what? We always run behind satisfaction. And no doubt why we are still not successful. I've seen a lot of people who do come and ask that, sir, I want to speak English fluently. Please tell us. Sir, I made a mistake today. I'm not satisfied. Well, it is good to be not satisfied. Because if you are satisfied, that's the dead end. And that is why I request all of you, please do not satisfy yourself, because as soon as you satisfy yourself, your progress is going to end. And these are procrastination, ignorance, worry. So when you worry about a situation again and again, then definitely you end up polluting your mind. And if you try to install any new information, it is not going to accept it. So please, I request all of you to not focus on these mind bugs, because these are bugs, which if they come inside your mind, then definitely they can prohibit you from going ahead. These are some self-limiting beliefs. Please tell me, do you have any one of them? I am too old, so I cannot learn any new skill. I'm not smart enough. I'm not educated enough. I'm afraid of trying and failing. You have to have money to make money. Well, this is the most common belief that people have. And I told you that if you keep on believing something again and again, then it becomes culture. It's not money that you need to make money. It's your resourcefulness that can help you making money. Resourcefulness. It's the skill set that can help you making money, not money. But as I told you, that if you keep on repeating the same thing again and again, because 95% of the people say that to establish a business, you need money. And we know that people who are billionaires, initially they didn't have money. But still we do follow the same culture without asking these questions. If we go ahead, then you can see that I have already tried everything. It's selfish of me to want more. I don't feel that I really deserve it. Well, this is again, it happens a lot of time that I don't think that I deserve the success. I don't have the willpower. All the good ones are taken. That means all the good people are taken by these MNCs. I'm not good enough. That's why I'm not successful. Limiting belief. I am too busy at the moment. A lot of people come with this statement that I'm too busy. It's hard to make money. The most important belief. It's hard to make money. I'm not good enough. I'm not a salesperson, or I'm not a leader. I know thousands of times I have heard people saying that I hate sales. But let me tell you, it is the only profession which can give you an abundance in life. Sales does not mean that you have to sell any physical product. In fact, when you speak in front of somebody, that is also selling, right? You are selling your time, you are selling your skills. So if you do not know how to sell, even yourself, your skills, then forget about getting success. You have to sell your ideas in your family. If you cannot sell your ideas to your children or your husband or your wife, you end up getting into a frustration. So selling is the most important thing. And I still would like to say that we do fear sales because again, it has become the culture. As I told you before, that we never ever ask questions when it comes to culture. So please, I request all of you to start dwelling upon these things. And I guess every one of us has at least one of these self-limiting beliefs. Self-image, most important topic, self-image. To have this undefeatable mindset, you need to have a greater self-image of yours. As there is a saying that you can never outperform your self-image. Serena Williams, when she was in top 50, her rank was 50, but still when she was at 50th rank, she is still supposed to believe that she is in the rank 1. If we talk about people like Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, though he knew that the entire British government is contradicting against him, but still he had this firm belief, firm determination. He had this greater self-image. And the best thing about self-image is that if you do not feel good about your self-image, how can you expect others to feel good about you? And when it comes to self-image, people do contradict between being humble. People do say that, sir, if we are humble, then people take an advantage of you. Now, let me tell you, being humble does not mean that you are weak or you think less of yourself. Being humble means you think of yourself less, means you always love to contribute to people's life. And if you think, again, if you look into these great visionaries, great people who have this undefeated mindset, they always have the good self-image. The best example I can give, the practical example which I can see is of Miss Anita. She has this great self-image that if I can take any student, I will make sure that he or she learns and become perfect. Now, because of that self-image, a lot of people she has nurtured who could not speak even a single word, and today they are great communicators. If we talk about great personalities, people who are good at speaking, people who are successful in whatever they do, at first they close their eyes, they visualize themselves successful, and then only they become successful. But again, my question to you is, how many times do you close your eyes and see yourself as a successful person? I have seen a lot of people, when it comes to speaking or when it comes to giving any kind of presentation, they have this negative self-image in their mind. They always come into this conclusion that it's not possible for me. People are going to laugh at me. I am weak. I am not capable. Now, if you have this self-image, again, let me repeat my statement. You cannot outperform your self-image. If you have this self-image, this self-belief in mind, then definitely you cannot outperform it. You can only outperform your self-image if you are better, if you can see yourself at a better level. I hope I am making sense to all of you. And again, satisfaction, which I already talked about, that if you are satisfied, then that's it. You are ready to go into the breaking situation again. You are ready to being broke again. Nobody could save you. So please do not be satisfied with your current situation, because satisfaction can create miseries in your life. Willpower, my God, the most important thing of today's time. Willpower. Again, a lot of people, they say that to have this undefeatable mindset, we need willpower. Again, I would like to ask that if you genuinely need willpower, then you are not doing what you are supposed to do. If you need willpower to speak effectively in English, then I guess English is not your passion. Because if you work upon your passion, then you do not need willpower. Your passion can drive you. Again, remember the 4 mental faculties I talked about? Instinct, intuition, imagination, and intellect. Your intellect can defy you. But if you have this strong intuition, strong belief inside of you, then you do not need willpower. Willpower is only for weak people who need external influence and motivation. Imagine again Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, who is considered to be the greatest influencer of all time, and because of which today India is known to a lot of people. Imagine that if he could have even a single doubt on his mindset, in his ideas, do you think was it possible for him to influence a lot of people? I still laugh when I say that it's quite difficult to even convince your friend to go along with you for a movie. And Mahatma Gandhi influenced 50 million people at that time. Imagine, it doesn't happen through your intellect. It happens through intuition, imagination, and your belief, the clarity that you have. And Gandhi had suffered a lot of problems. He had to go to jail, prison. Now, do you think that willpower could have saved him? No. There's a great book. I would request all of you to read this book by Viktor Frankl, which is Man's Search for Meaning. In that book, this is one of the best-selling books with 15 million copies sold worldwide. In that book, he mentioned one thing, that he was the part of Jews, and during World War II, he was taken along with his entire family into a prison. But what happened, that just because he had this positive belief, he had this mindset, strong mindset, he was in the prison. But despite in the prison, still he was happy. Still he managed everything. People looked upon him and said that, sir, how is it possible that in such adverse situation inside the prison you are happy? And he would always say that I never allow external situations to affect my mood, to affect my emotions. I do not give control to everybody to play with my emotions, to play with my internal being. And this story really influences me a lot, because if you have that clarity, you do not need willpower. That clarity can drive you. That clarity can make you do things you cannot even imagine. So this is how does our mind work. This is one of the most important slides that I would like to talk about. So let's say we have 2 minds, subconscious and conscious mind. Now, throughout our lifetime, throughout our childhood, we always do focus on conscious mind. We talk about intellect, we talk about reasoning, thinking, we talk about ideas, we talk about a lot of things. But please tell me, do we take decisions based on our conscious mind or subconscious mind? Let's say if I'm angry. When we get angry, do we think of something else? We just get angry, we just get mad, and we just burst out. And when we calm down, then we can gain our consciousness back, and then we feel that, my God, what did I say? I should have not said like this. So this anger, it doesn't come consciously, it comes from your subconscious mind, your feelings. Now imagine that you want to be rich, but again, you feel deep within you feel like you are a failure. You are a poor. You want to be an effective communicator, but deep within you feel that I do not have qualities. Tell me that in mind, you are saying that you want to be a good communicator, but in your heart, you are feeling that you cannot do it. Guess what? You cannot. You cannot. Because your subconscious mind, which is all about feelings, is 30,000 times powerful than that of conscious mind. 30,000 times. That's why it becomes difficult to break addiction. Why? People who take drink, people who take alcohol, they know that it is not good for their health. Still they consume it. Do you even ask why do they do it? Don't you think that they know that these are bad? Don't you think that people who smoke, they know, they have this information, knowledge that it's bad. Still they end up consuming it because they feel good. Subconscious mind, because it's really difficult to break something which you feel. Your subconscious mind cannot reject or accept any idea. If you tell your subconscious mind anything, it is going to accept without any question. So let's say if somebody cheats you in your life and you tell yourself that everybody is a cheater, men cannot be trusted, guess what? It goes into your subconscious mind. And that brings me to my next slide. That is, thinker thinks, prover proves. Your conscious mind thinks, your subconscious mind proves. So your subconscious mind will prove that yes, everybody is a cheater. Nobody can be trusted upon. If your conscious mind says that you are not a good communicator, your subconscious mind will give you thousands of reasons why you cannot communicate well. In Hindi, we have this dialogue that if you want something, अगर आप किसी भी चीज को चाहो तो पूरी कायनात लग जाती है. Well, कायनात नहीं लगती. That subconscious mind brings that thing into your front. So whatever you prove, whatever you think, the prover proves. If you think that you are not successful, your subconscious mind will bring you into the situation where you cannot become successful. It's like the God has given you the most powerful tool, your mind. It's like a power plant, a powerhouse. You can see a powerhouse produces a lot of energy. But if you do not know how to use that energy, then either you can end up getting dead because of the short circuit, or maybe you can use that energy to drive, to power a lot of houses. Now the decision is upon you, but that subconscious mind is so powerful. The best example is these advertisement companies. If you could relate to me, then all these advertisement companies, after a night, if I talk about news channel, after 11:30 or after 12, you must see that after 12 they do not run any news. They just run advertisement. And in the morning hours, they keep on running maximum advertisement. Why? Because by the time when you end up at 12 a.m. in the night, in the night, your conscious mind becomes weak. And that is when the advertisement attacks your subconscious mind. And the message easily gets installed, because once something enters inside subconscious, you are done. And that is why people do ask, char boondo wala ujala. You do not need to remember because it has been installed. So that is why it is very careful. It's very important for you to understand that whatever you think, prover proves. So if you think that you are not successful, prover will prove it, and automatically you end up dying, becoming poor. If you feel that you cannot speak English well, your subconscious mind will prove that yes, you cannot speak English well. So it is really important for you to control your thinking, because mind power is thinking real. These are all the studies that have been conducted in the past, that mind is so powerful that it can create. In fact, today I was reading one article where it was written that your mind is so powerful, it is equivalent to the entire America. The mind was compared to the entire American Greenland. So if we install power plant, then the kind of power that it is going to produce, it is equivalent to a human being's mind, the power that we have. Imagine, it is so powerful. It is so powerful. In fact, the doctors say that it is impossible to replicate human brain. The entire India, if we keep on installing the powerhouse throughout the India, still it could not match the power that we have in our brain, and it's a proven study. There's nothing called theoretical. Clarity is power. Gandhi was so clear about his vision, and that's why he could influence a lot of people, and that's why today we are independent. But if you are not clear about what you want to do in your life, if you do not have clarity, conviction will not come. And if clarity and conviction are not there, definitely you are going to look for willpower. You are going to look for some motivation, inspiration, because if you do not have this clarity, nothing is going to save. And to have clarity, you need to have well-defined goals. Please tell me honestly, how many of you have well-defined, clear written goals? How many of you know that 5 years down the line, what do you want in your life? We do not give importance to goals. Imagine it's like hitting your arrow at a place and you do not know where to hit the arrow. It's like stepping out from your home and you do not know where to go. You do not know your destination. You do not have goals. So how are you going to realize that you have reached your goal when you do not have even a goal? 98% of people do not have clear defined goal. And I'm not talking about general people. There was a study which was conducted in Harvard, and the professor Napoleon Hill, when he went into the Harvard, he asked all of them that how many of you have clear defined goals? Only 15% of them raised their hand. And later on, when the scientists studied, when these researchers studied, they found that people who had clear, defined, and written goals, who were very much clear about what they wanted in life, they were more successful, in fact, 10 times more successful than people who did not have a goal at all. But the problem is we think that we have goal, but in reality, we do not. If you have goal, you do not need motivation, inspiration. Your goal will drive you. So you need to understand that to have undefeatable mindset, you need to have goals. In short, if I have to summarize this entire workshop, so I would just like all of you to ask these questions, because in the beginning of the workshop, I told you that I want all of you to be unsatisfied and ask questions. The questions are, who am I? Why am I here in this planet? What do I really want in my life? What does success mean to me? What is the definition of success for me? Making 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, or is it something else? What kind of legacy do I want to live? If I die today, what I want others to say about me? If you answer even these 5 questions, if you have the answer of these 5 questions, these are proven questions that I picked from Harvard's journal. If you have the answers of these 5 questions, then you do not need willpower and you end up getting the life that you truly want. In short, before concluding the session, I would like to request all of you that please, please, and please do not follow the culture blindly. Be clear in what you want in your life. Do not make decisions based upon your past. Do not rely upon your intellect alone. Do not give importance to fear. Give importance to your dreams. Make decisions based upon your dreams, not based upon your fears. If people do say negative about you, do not get demeaned. If you are clear about your vision, do not look for options. In fact, Milkha Singh, who died today, he said one line, and that line really literally changed his life. He said that I do not have too many options, and that's why I am successful. Guess what? When it comes to making decisions, we always look for options. Should I go for this class or not? Should I take the admission right now or not? Should I go for this thing or not? So if you have a lot of options, at the end, you do not get anything. But if you have only one option, and that only one option will come if you have a clear defined goal. So do not get into too much of options and start asking questions. If somebody says something to you, start asking questions. Do not accept anything blindly. So on that note, I would like to rest my workshop. And today's workshop is dedicated to two most prominent people in my life. The first one is somebody who has taught me all of these things, of course, Miss Anita. So from her, I have learned this lessons, and today I thought that I should share this with all of you. And the second personality is none other than God. So I devote this workshop to these two personalities, because even God also has a personality. So on that note, I would like to rest my workshop. Thank you so much. I hope I have not bored all of you, and I have managed to give you at least an unsatisfied workshop today so that you can ask questions from yourself. Do not settle in, ask questions, because the quality of your questions determine the quality of your life. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions to ask, or if you have any feedback to share, I'm open for it. Thank you so much. Yeah, if anybody has anything to ask, anything to share, maybe any lesson that you have learned from the workshop, you can share. If you have liked it, what's the point that you would like to take from this workshop? So I request all of you, and if you have any doubt, you can ask. The panel is open for questions. And yes, Miss Anita, thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just give me a second. Yeah. Now everybody can unmute themselves. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arindam. It was a great pleasure of us that you explained all these things in a nice manner. And thank you so much that you said about this, that I actually added some value in your life. Thank you so much for this as well. And the way that you represented today, that we learned a lot. If I talk about today's workshop, it is all about very informative, because very new things, new kind of logic you actually applied here, which we don't know. The intuition, right, and the this kind of the things that which we don't know about this, and today we got to know through you. And yes, of course, the kind of vision, the kind of the picture you reflected today, that's very very knowledgeable for us. And thank you so much for everything. And if I talk about that the lesson which you taught today, you said that today I just hurt you. So I think so that your hurting actually will develop somebody's mindset, somebody's thought process. So I think so it is a great wisdom that you have shared with us. And it's great of us that we got the ideas about all these things. And you said a lot of things in this workshop which was amazing, and a lot of things like the actual reality. 76 point people, billion people, right? You said that are there, but only like few people, a few people's you are few, the people only become the billionaire. So it's again it's a really great a structure, great kind of the evaluations, research, and we got to know these things. So think of it that such a big world we have, and very few persons are billionaire, right? So it's a great great thing to know about. So any which way, English Times definitely will go ahead. No one can stop. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank,
so much. And the way that you explained it was amazing.
thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Anita. Thank you so much. Uh, yes, Mr. Naresh.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Very good
And
evening.
good evening, everyone. It was very amazing workshop. We learned very much in very simple way. I can say that we learned here today how to enable ambitious people to create world-class career and lifestyle with results, influence, and affluences. I I saw on this screen that sight comes from eyes, vision comes from mind. 100% true, I can say. And so I want to say one more thing here. Big goal needs big action. Big action needs endless energy. And endless energy comes only when you are healthy and you have mindset. So that's I want to say that set your unrealistic goals, but have the right benchmarks. Thank you, sir. I'm very impressed from your this workshop. It is really very helpful and inspirable for all of us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. These words coming from you, who has achieved a lot of success in his life, means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yes, Mr. Jagdish.
Well, sir, good evening, all of you, first of all. And thanks, Shah, sir. You give lots of information and different sector of the life, like how to deal our situation, how to create our goal, and how to get a success in our life to help of the goal, and so many information give. And thanks for all the information give us. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jagdish. Thank you so much. Means a lot. Thank you so much. And still, the panel is open. If you have anything to share, if you would like anything, I'm open for that. If you have any question, if you would like to say anything, then you can ask or you can speak. Yeah, I guess, yeah, Mr. Arup. Yeah, please.
Very good evening to all of you. Arindam, I am very impressed and very motivated with your presentation. I come to know many things about the psychology and science of the mind, and what it affects our life and success and day-to-day life, how it drives. And basically, I come to know you are focusing on the mind and how the mind is driving our life and job, career, all these things. Okay, and you collected many research things. That is a great thing. Okay, and one question.
Yeah, please.
One question I want to ask you. The happiness index is uh, very much decreasing in India. The rank is 153 around like that. So if we are unsatisfied, then how can we increase our happiness?
Very nice question. So definitely when it comes to happiness, India lags for sure. And why? Again, if we go back to into the definition of culture, because we had certain beliefs, we feel that if we attain something, then only we would be happy. Now, happiness is not something which you should attach with the end goal. Happiness is something which is under your control. In fact, today I was reading this book, if you can see, I am not sure whether you can see it, 7 Mindsets for Success, Happiness and Fulfillment. And in this book, it has been clearly specified that we always attach our happiness with end goal. But the opposite should be true. Be happy with what you have and be unsatisfied for what you want in life. That should be the real mantra of life. Be happy, let me repeat once again, be happy with what you have and be discontented, unsatisfied for what you want in life. If that is your approach, then you are successful. So my answer to your question is that just because of the prevailing culture, we do believe that after reaching at a certain position, then only we can be happy. But we should be happy at first, and then we should strive for whatever we want to achieve. If we have this approach, then definitely we can be happy. So that's my answer to your question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Arun. And still, if someone, one more question we can take. So anything if you would like to share or anything if you have. Yes, Ranjan, please.
Yes, sir. It was a quite wonderful session, and the very best thing you said that when you are successful and you are satisfied, then your downfall will start. So don't be satisfied with your success. Keep your strives open. That is a very good thing I learned from this workshop.
Great. And Ranjan, you do follow the same, I know.
Yes, sir. Obviously.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ranjan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the session.
Thank you. Most welcome. And thank you so much, all of you, for coming and joining. Yes, Itinjay, would you like to say? Yeah, yeah.
Sir, this is Itinjay. Good evening, all, everyone. I am myself Itinjay. I am from Odisha. I am satisfied the discussion, and everything is possible for a human. And this is my first class of first class, not but my
First workshop.
first discussion with first workshop, and I am very satisfied. Thanks to all. Thanks to Arindam sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Itinjay. That's really great. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Ms. Bedalian, for your wonderful comment. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and joining the session. And thank you so much, Ms. Anita, for hosting this wonderful workshop. Without audience, without you, this workshop might not be possible. And the